The story begins with a man known by the nickname Clean. He works as a garbage collector, picking up and transporting trash from residential areas controlled by local gangsters. Every day, after finishing his work, Clean goes through the garbage and collects anything that might still be useful. Instead of throwing those things away, he takes them home, repairs them, and sells them to a nearby thrift shop owned by one of his acquaintances. Clean lives alone in a small workshop after divorcing his wife. His daughter passed away from an illness a long time ago, and her death still weighs heavily on him. Clean constantly remembers his daughter, but those memories also hurt him because he blames himself for what happened to her. Feeling guilty and unable to move on, Clean tries to make up for his past by helping people around him. One person he especially looks after is his teenage neighbor, Dianda. Dianda is an orphan who lives with only her grandmother, Ethel, so Clean quietly tries to look out for her like a father figure. Meanwhile, somewhere else, a man named Michael is waiting outside a prison. He has come there to pick up his son, Mikey, who is finally being released. But when Mikey walks out of the prison, some of his friends arrive to pick him up. Instead of going with his father, Mikey chooses to leave with his friends. Michael is clearly annoyed and disappointed by his son's behavior, but he decides not to argue and simply lets him go. Later that evening, Clean is working in the neighborhood when he notices Michael and several of his men doing something suspicious outside Michael's restaurant. Clean also notices that the men are carrying weapons. However, Clean does not want to get involved in their business, so he simply continues doing his job and keeps moving. It turns out that Michael is not just a restaurant owner. Behind the restaurant, he is involved in an illegal drug business. He receives drugs that are secretly smuggled in from China. The smugglers hide the drugs inside fish so they can bring them into the country without attracting attention. Michael then takes the drugs, prepares them for sale, and sends them into the local market. That night, Michael receives another shipment from his Chinese suppliers, but he immediately realizes that something is wrong. The package does not contain what they had agreed on, which means Michael is losing money. He becomes extremely angry, but has no choice except to deal with the situation. The next morning, Clean sees Deonda walking to school. He asks her why she is going on foot, and Deonda explains that the school bus has stopped coming to their area. Her grandmother's car is also broken, so she has no other way to get to school. Seeing her situation, Clean offers to give her a ride. Later, Clean decides to do something even more meaningful for Deonda. He takes an old second-hand bicycle that once belonged to his late daughter and quietly leaves it outside Deonda's house. He does not expect anything in return and simply wants the girl to have an easier way to get around. However, Deonda's grandmother, Ethel, soon realizes what Clean has done. She goes outside and asks him why he is so concerned about her granddaughter. Clean finally admits that helping Deonda is partly his way of dealing with the guilt he has carried since his daughter's death. He feels that he failed his own daughter, and now he wants to do something good for someone else. Ethel understands what Clean is trying to do and tells him that he is actually a good man. At the same time, Michael is once again meeting with his drug suppliers. Just like before, the shipment from China is not what he ordered. Michael has already lost his patience, and this time, he completely snaps. He takes his anger out on the courier who delivered the package and beats the man brutally. The beating goes too far, and the courier is eventually left dead. Mikey witnesses what his father has done, and he is left shocked by Michael's cruelty. Michael is not just a feared crime boss, he also has a lot of influence in the area, which allows him to get away with almost anything. He is so powerful that he does not even hesitate to kill someone in the middle of the day on a public street. That night, Clean arrives at Michael's restaurant to pick up the trash. But as soon as he gets near the trash can, he notices a horrible smell and sees fresh blood all over the place. Clean becomes suspicious and starts looking around to figure out where the smell is coming from. Suddenly, Michael appears behind him. Michael knows Clean has seen the mess, so he offers him some money and asks him to clean everything up. But Clean refuses the money. He does not want to become part of Michael's criminal business, so he simply walks away and continues with his normal job. A few days later, Clean is driving to work when his garbage truck suddenly breaks down in the middle of the road. While waiting for help, he notices a man running for his life as a group of young thugs chase him. The thugs eventually catch the man and trap him inside a small alley. They surround him and start beating him. Clean cannot just stand there and watch, so he steps in to help the man. But before Clean can do much, one of the thugs sneaks up behind him and hits him hard on the head. Clean immediately loses consciousness. When he finally wakes up, he discovers that he is in a hospital. A doctor examines his injury and tells him that the wound on his head is serious. He also tells Clean that he is lucky to have survived. The doctor gives him medicine and advises him to continue treatment as an outpatient. But Clean does not want to stay there any longer. He refuses the treatment and decides to go straight home. On his way back, Clean sees Deanda hanging around with some young troublemakers from the neighborhood. Clean immediately becomes worried because he knows these kids can get her into serious trouble. He tells Deanda to go home with him, but she gets angry and says that Clean has no right to tell her what to do because he is not her father. The young delinquents also turn against Clean and violently force him to leave. Even though Deanda is upset with him at first, she eventually listens to Clean and leaves the group. Meanwhile, Michael is having dinner with Mikey, but their peaceful meal quickly turns into a heated argument. Michael is furious because his son would rather spend his time having fun with his friends than help him with the drug business. He keeps insulting Mikey and complaining about his behavior. Mikey finally loses his temper and pulls out a knife, warning his father to stop insulting his friends. After the argument becomes too much, Mikey decides to leave home that same night. Later, Clean notices Deanda's bicycle parked outside an abandoned house. He knows that this building is being used as a hangout by the young delinquents, so he becomes suspicious and goes inside to check on her. What he sees makes him furious. Deanda is inside with the group, and the young delinquents are forcing her to take drugs and alcohol, while also harassing her. They are even recording everything on a phone so they can share the video with their friends. Clean completely loses his patience. He grabs an iron pipe and attacks the group, beating them until they can no longer fight back. After taking care of the attackers, Clean suddenly realizes that one of them is Mikey, Michael's son. Mikey has been badly injured during the fight. Clean understands that things could become very dangerous if Michael or the police find out what happened, so he quickly takes Deanda and leaves the place before anyone can catch him. Meanwhile, Mikey is taken to the hospital, where he stays for several days to recover from his injuries. After receiving treatment, Mikey finally returns home. The doctor treating Mikey later tells Michael that his body will eventually recover, but the damage to his face is too severe for it to return to normal on its own. The doctor explains that Mikey will need plastic surgery to repair the damage. On top of that, Mikey can no longer speak properly because his vocal cords have also been badly damaged. The doctor strongly advises Michael to get the surgery done as soon as possible. If they wait too long, Mikey's condition could become even more serious and cause problems with other parts of his body. But Michael has no intention of helping his son. Instead, he decides to leave Mikey in that condition as a kind of punishment because Mikey never listened to him or followed his orders. Soon after, a police officer named Frank visits Michael and tells him that the police have found a video from the place where Mikey was attacked. The footage clearly shows that Clean was the one who beat Mikey. Michael then learns that Clean is close to Deanda and her grandmother, Ethel. He immediately comes up with a plan. Michael orders Frank to kill both Deanda and Ethel while bringing Clean to him alive. This makes it clear that Michael has the police under his control and uses them to protect his criminal business. Meanwhile, Clean already knows that Michael will come after him for what happened to Mikey, so he quickly takes Deanda and Ethel and tries to get them out of the city. He knows that staying there will put all three of them in danger. While they are driving away, a police car suddenly turns on its siren and orders Clean to pull over. For a moment, Clean considers giving himself up. He thinks that if he surrenders, maybe Deanda and Ethel will be safe from Michael's men. But then he realizes that the police are working for Michael. If he stops, all three of them could end up in even more danger. So Clean presses the gas and speeds away from the police. After escaping, Clean stops at a restaurant so they can take a short break. While Deanda and Ethel go to the bathroom, Clean notices several cars nearby. He decides to steal one of them so they can leave in a different vehicle and make it harder for Michael's men and the police to track them. But before Clean can escape, Michael's men notice his vehicle and quickly arrive at the restaurant. Deanda and Ethel see the men coming through the entrance and immediately try to find somewhere to hide. Clean also notices what is happening and secretly moves through the back entrance. He catches Michael's men by surprise and takes down several of them before finding Deanda and Ethel hiding inside a warehouse. After seeing Clean fight and kill Michael's men, Deanda and Ethel are shocked and confused. Clean finally decides that there is no point in hiding the truth anymore. He tells them that he was once a professional hitman. He was highly skilled at killing people and worked as an assassin for years, but everything changed after his daughter died. Her death made Clean leave that life behind, and he disappeared from the world he once knew. He settled in the city and started working as a garbage collector so nobody would suspect his real past. He wanted to live a quiet life and stay away from violence. After making sure Deanda and Ethel are somewhere safe, Clean returns to his workshop. He gathers his old equipment and takes all the money he has saved. Clean knows that running away will not solve the problem anymore. Michael will keep coming after them, so Clean decides to face him. He then goes to his friend's shop and gets the weapons and equipment he needs. For the first time in years, Clean is preparing to return to the dangerous life he left behind. Meanwhile, Frank returns to Michael's house and tells him something shocking about Clean. He explains that Clean is not just an ordinary garbage man. He is actually a former professional assassin who was once known as the Angel of Death because of how dangerous and deadly he was. Michael realizes that he has made a huge mistake by going after Clean. But before Michael can do anything, he receives a phone call from Clean himself. Clean calmly tells him that he is coming for him. Now Michael knows that Clean is coming straight to his house, so he gathers all his men and prepares for a fight. He makes sure they have plenty of weapons because he knows Clean will not be easy to stop. At the same time, Clean is also getting ready. He takes out his old weapons and equipment, modifies them, and prepares everything he needs for the final confrontation. Once everything is ready, Clean drives toward Michael's house in his garbage truck. He does not try to sneak in quietly. Instead, he drives the truck straight into Michael's large house, crashing through the building. The impact causes the power to go out, leaving the entire house in darkness. But darkness is exactly what Clean needs. Using the situation to his advantage, Clean moves through the house and takes down Michael's men one after another. Before long, almost everyone inside has been defeated. Clean then starts searching for Michael. Suddenly, Michael jumps out from inside a cupboard and attacks him. The two men get into a fierce fight, but Clean quickly gains the upper hand and knocks Michael down. Clean is finally ready to finish the man who has caused so much trouble for him and the people he cares about. But just as Clean is about to kill Michael, Mikey suddenly appears with a gun pointed directly at Clean. Michael sees his son and becomes happy because he thinks Mikey has finally decided to kill the man who destroyed his life. But Michael's smile quickly disappears. Instead of shooting Clean, Mikey turns the gun toward his own father and shoots Michael, killing him. Mikey then tries to shoot Clean as well, but the gun is already out of bullets. With no way to attack him, Mikey is left helpless and Clean survives. In the final scene, we see Deanda riding her bicycle through the city streets. The neighborhood is now much safer because the gangsters and criminals who once controlled the area are gone. Deanda stops for a moment and smiles when she sees Clean's garbage truck coming toward her. Clean has returned to his normal life, once again working as a garbage man. But now the people around him are finally safe. And with that, the story comes to an end.